there was a...
Yeah, well, the point about East India Company is very significant. In fact, on the very first anniversary of Bhopal catastrophe, I described the Union Carbide Corporation as a lethal lineal descendant of the East India Company. So there's a close continuity between East India Company, by the way, was the first multinational corporation, although chartered by an Act of Parliament and supervised, as we all know, with the trial of Warren Hastings and so on. Charter had to be renewed every 5 years. They were supervised by the Parliament, by the United Kingdom Parliament, the House of Commons. And that's an important thing, that degree of legislative supervision is totally absent, almost totally absent in modern times. And therefore, on the 10th or 11th anniversary of Bhopal, some of us made this demand that there should be a charter review. Corporations must be reviewed, and a public audit of corporations through legislative representatives in each country. And the United States, for example, has charter review provisions. New York, for example, has a law where people can appeal to the Attorney General of New York State, and he or she can then initiate a review process, holding, not legally, but socially accountable, the corporation in the light of any complaints or grievances that have been received. Some American state legislation provide even the drastic remedy of closing down companies if their conduct is very bad or egregiously wrong. I don't know whether this has happened in reality, but at least there's the provision. So there is something to be learned from the parliamentary oversight of the East India Company, which we have not learned. We do recall the East India Company as a sovereign predator. And today, we have a community of sovereign predators in global corporations. So the analogy is quite extraordinarily striking. What happens in India, of course, in 1857 is that Queen Victoria makes a proclamation assuring the loyal subjects of peace, order, and good governance and rule of law. And then the Raj comes into, British Raj directly governs India. Now what this may have to do with Bhopal? Well, the Victoria Proclamation essentially is what, it was in a sense, what we today understand by values and virtues of human rights, to take a long jump. They are different, but there is a similarity in the sense that good governance, which would now include good corporate governance, rule of law, and respect for basic rights of people, very important. So one can trace an imaginative continuity on a positive side between the proclamation and the current situation.